Hello, this is Spartan Commander, and this is a 564th Brotherhood game I've put onto YouTube. Straight away you'll see this battle was fought on one of my favourite maps, and this is one of the closest battles that I've ever been in. At the end of this battle there is one battle damaged unit left, and that is all that is left on the entire battlefield. Everything else is killed or routed. So to say, this is one of my favourite maps, Germanic Forest map, where you can fight out on the open plains, or as we've said before, you can hide troops in the woods and jump out on the enemy troops with those nasty woods ambushes there. Okay, our first teammate is Brotherhood member Aurelius, who has bought the Burgundy faction. Okay, and I think this is getting to be his faction of choice now. I believe he likes the Burgundian faction quite a lot. And here you can see that he's got chosen axemen. Now remember, these chosen axemen are effective against armour, and they do exactly what it says on the tin. These guys can cut wide swathes through heavily armoured troops with those effective against armour axes, and can be a very dominant force on the battlefield. I'd be interested to see how well he does with them. And then he's got his Lombardi Berserkers. Okay, these guys got a massive fear factor, but they are not effective against armour. Okay, that's one thing they haven't got. They're not effective against armor, but they got a big fear factor and big attacking specifications. So make no mistake, they're very powerful units on this game. Okay, if you look at the upgrades on his chosen axeman, can you see that he's put 8 upgrades, 2 experience stripes, gold shield, gold attack on his chosen axeman. And he's got 8 upgrades on his berserkers too. So very good upgrades on those troops. Be interesting to see how well they do. And I believe that his cavalry are the Burgundian Lancers. Now bearing in mind that the highest cavalry charge bonus in this game is 10, these guys have got that. Remember, the charge bonus is the actual impact and penetration of a unit, and these guys, as I say, have got the 10 charge bonus, the highest in the game. Their specifications, the other specifications aren't great, but with that charge bonus they can cause a lot of damage. So that'd be interesting to see how Aurelius uses that faction of choice army of his. Okay, our next teammate is Brotherhood member Barclayman, who has bought the Celts faction. I notice Barclayman is bringing the Celts a little bit more regularly now. Their elite infantry are the Callow Glasses. Here you can see with those big massive swords that they've got there, they can do a lot of damage with them. The Celts are looked upon maybe as a weaker faction on Barbarian Invasion, but I noticed that Barclayman likes bringing them, trying to experiment with different armies. Then they've got the Hounds of Kulan Berserker units there. Okay, now these guys haven't got such high specifications as other Berserkers in this game, but what they have got is effective against armour maces. Okay, those maces that they carry there are effective against armour, and they are the only Berserkers in the game with effective against armour a bonus there. Okay, so and if you notice here, can you see how they paint their bodies purple? I think that's to add more fear, to scare the enemy troops a bit more. And if you notice here, Barclayman has wisely bought a couple of religious units. Remember what we've talked about before in Barbarian Invasion? Morale is very, very important, and to bring religious units to give your men that extra morale bonus, keep them fighting longer, is a good tactical move there. So I notice he's got 2 of religious units there, the Druids. Be interesting to see how well he does with that army during the course of the battle. And our last teammate is myself, Spartan Commander, who's got the Roman Eastern Empire Rebels. Okay, now I've got a combination of units here. I've got the Plumbarteri units. Remember these Plumbarteri units, each unit can throw 810 effective against armour metal tipped darts. Okay, so each Plumbarteri unit can throw 810 of those effective against armour metal tipped darts. So you've got a lot of fire there with those missiles. Then I've got the Legio Lanciarii. These are anti-cavalry units, but they can also throw spears as well. So they got a dual purpose there. They can repel cavalry attack, but as I say, they can also throw missiles as well. So they're quite a handy unit to bring. And I've got, I think it's, I've got a few Comitatensi units here. Now these are Eagle units. Okay, 122 man Eagle units there. So obviously they give morale to all the troops around them. And my cavalry are, of course, the Equitae Clibanarii here, with their effective against armour maces that suspiciously look like rolling pins, but no, those are effective against armour maces. So that's my army there. So there's our team, quite diverse. We've got the Burgundy with Aurelius. we've got the Celts with Barclayman and Rome with me. And as I say, this is one of the closest battles I've ever been in, with just one unit standing at the end. And here is the other team. We have Brotherhood member Mad King, who has bought the Sassanids. I think this is his faction of choice on Barbarian Invasion. And here you can see he got the Desert Archers. Now these guys have got long range, they do a lot of damage and got quite good defense as well. So they're good archers. They've got the Sugdian warriors here. Now these guys carry effective against armor maces. Okay, so both the archers and the infantry in this faction are very good. But here is the real strength of the Sassanid faction, and that is their cavalry. Now if you notice here, he's got the cataphracts here. Now I think he's got a massive 9 charge bonus, and I think with gold shield, gold attack on, they got something like a 34-35 defense. So they are really tough cavalry there. Okay, but there's one thing I want to show you here that I'd like to you to remember, if you could. Can you see that we've got 2 Clibanarii Immortals, and one of the Clibanarii Immortals is Mad King's General. Okay, now what I want you to do here is to note the number of upgrades he's got on that unit. So he's got 6 upgrades, gold shield, gold attack on that unit. Okay, please remember that, because later on in the battle I think you'll find something quite interesting here. Okay, so just remember that his general here at the beginning of the battle has just got 6 upgrades, gold shield, gold attack. And as I say, towards the end of the battle I think you'll find something quite interesting there. So that's quite a good army. Okay, their next teammate is a Brotherhood member, Man 2. Now Man 2 has got the Roman Western Empire. Now just like to say here that he has got, okay, 13 Plumbartarii and 3 Comitatenses. Okay, now remember those Plumbartarii throw 810 metal tipped effective against armor darts. Okay, so just let you know that 13 Plumbartarii units, get ready for this, can throw 10,530 missiles. Okay, and with the 3 Comitatenses, those 3 Comitatenses, 122 man unit each, they can throw 3 pilers each, so that's another 1,098 missiles. So the combination of missiles that his army can throw is 11,628. So that army can throw 11,628 effective against armor missiles before they even get into hand-to-hand combat. Imagine the devastation they can do to other armies. 11,628 missiles that army can throw. So they can absolutely decimate other armies, as I say, before they even get into hand-to-hand fighting. This is the advantage that Rome has got on Barbarian Invasion, the amount of missiles that they can throw. And bearing in mind that both pilers and those metal-tipped darts are effective against armour, as I say, 11,628 missiles coming our way before we even get into hand-to-hand fighting. He's bought a religious unit as well. As we said, morale so important on Barbarian Invasion. That's a great unit to bring to give extra morale to your troops. And I see he's just got 3 cavalry units there. Okay, so that's an interesting army with massive firepower, and that could prove decisive maybe towards the end of the battle. Their last teammate is a player who's called himself Julius Caesar. If you notice there, it's not Julius Caesar but Julius Caesar, and we think that he's probably a player that we might know who's changed his name for this game, because during the course of the battle you'll see he seems to be quite a good player. He's not just a random player that's that plays Barbarian Invasion and just joined our game. He seems to be quite a good player there, so it'd be interesting to see how well he does with that Sassanid faction. So as you say, you've got Mad King with the Sassanids, you've got Man 2 with the Roman Western Empire, and Julius Caesar with Sassanids. This should be a great battle for you to watch. Hope you enjoy it. Okay, at this stage of the battle, I just thought I'd say that, as you can see, my Roman army here, and that Roman formation of mine, I'm going to face Man 2's army. Now, bearing in mind, as we saw earlier, his army can throw 11,628 effective against armour missiles. Against my barbarian allies, the Celts, or the Burgundy faction there, with no armour at all, these guys would be absolutely decimated by those missiles. He could probably, Man 2 could possibly take out both their armies. Now my Roman army, they're heavily armoured, but they're still going to suffer a lot of casualties. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to put my army out the front to take the missiles from Man 2's army there, and saving my my allies from taking massive casualties there. But to make no mistake, I'm going to lose a lot of my troops as well to that amount of missiles. But I think as my arm is better armoured, that's the best thing to do. Okay, over here you can see Mad King's got his 2 horse archer units here, the Immortals. And as you can see, they're shooting arrows into our allies' cavalry there. As I say, please make a note of Mad King's general upgrade on there. Only 6 upgrades, gold shield, gold attack. As I say, please make a mental note of that for later on. Okay, here you can see Aurelius bringing his cavalry over here to try and chase off the Immortals there. You can see that Mad King is now retreating there, which is the best thing for him to do, but he's bringing reinforcements over. Can you see he's bringing his cataphracts over here, plus I think he's bringing some archers as well, and might be even bringing his infantry over as well here on the right flank. So as you can see here, Mad King's decided to be extremely aggressive here on our right flank by bringing his army over with his, as I say, he's got his archers, infantry, and his very, very strong cavalry here on our right flank. Let's say he seems to be moving independently of his allies here over on this right flank, so just make sure he doesn't get isolated there. But I think with the powerful cavalry that he's got, there's maybe not a lot we can do if we do hit him there, because as I say, those cataphracts I think have got something like a 35 defense, really, really powerful cavalry. He's bringing his archers and infantry over there possibly as well. Okay, if you notice here, can you see Aurelius is running his 2 berserker units over from that right flank where the enemy troops are. That's a good tactical move there, keep his berserkers away. Remember, those berserkers can be activated by enemy troops or can be picked off by those archers that he's bringing over as well. So that's a good tactical move there by Aurelius to bring those units over. But as I say, you can see Mad King being very, very aggressive here right from the very, very start of the battle. Bearing in mind, as I say, the battle has literally just started. And he's bringing both the archers, cavalry and infantry over here on the right flank to target the flank of our team here. Okay, so as you can see here, I've moved my Roman army out in front of my allies now to take the missiles from Man 2. As I say, just a reminder, he can throw 11,628 missiles before they even get to hand fighting. Okay, over here you can see Barclay Man here with his cavalry trying to chase down those 2 Clibonarite Immortal horse archer units there. Right, let's just pause the game for a second here. So you've got the horse archer shooting into him there. Okay, and he's pulling his cavalry back, but you've got the cataphracti cavalry moving over there, plus those archers. Now, what he might want to do is to try and bait our cavalry to chase those 2 Immortal units and bring them into range of his archers there. Okay, that would be a nice move if he did that, because of course as we were chasing those Immortal units there, we would then be picked off by his archers. But as you can see here, we've backed our cavalry off at the moment. Now you can see Barclay Man here bringing one of his berserker units over, one of his hounds of Kulan there. Okay, and looks like he's going to charge in there, and bang, and he smashes into those cataphracts. Okay, so his cavalry are only medium kind of cavalry there, going up against these elite cataphracts there, but bringing that hound of Kulan berserker unit in there could well make a difference. Okay, he's activated that berserker unit there now, which of course would take the morale away from enemy troops, as well as doing a lot of damage to them. Remember, those hounds of Kulan are effective against armor. Okay, right, you can see I've charged my cavalry in there as well, brought my cavalry over to help against these cataphracts. Looks like we've taken out Mad King's general. Okay, so that's good news for us, taking out Mad King's general, take the morale bonus away from his army there. Okay, but all the time here, don't make no mistake that Mad King's archers are shooting into us, causing us a lot of casualties there. And as you can see there that the cataphracts have charged into us as well. Right, let's just pause again for a second here. So you can see Man 2's brought his cavalry across there. You can see a Mad King's Sugdian warriors effective against armor, mace carrying troops coming over as well. And as I say, both Barclay Man and myself, our cavalry there, are fighting the enemy. But here you can see that Man 2 has brought his massive Roman army forward with those massive firepower that he's got, and he will start targeting the forward units of my Roman army there. Okay, so as I say, I'm going to take them as many of those missiles as I can here, because at least my troops have got armor on, where my allies' barbarian troops obviously haven't, and they would be absolutely decimated, even more than what my troops are going to be. But you can see those effective against armor metal tipped darts coming in on my troops already. Okay, you can see them coming in. It wouldn't surprise me if Man 2 moves a bit closer. There you go, coming in closer now, so he's got closer range to be able to use his missiles. Let's pause the game for a second here. So let's say moving in closer here to target my Roman troops. As you can see here, Aurelius is taking his cavalry over to that right flank to join Barclayman's and my cavalry that are already over there. We've routed some of Mad King's archers on this right flank of ours, but as you can see, his Sugdian warriors, those effective against armour mace carrying troops, are moving forward towards us as well. So it might be a good idea for us to pull our cavalry back away from those effective against armour Sugdian warriors there. But you can see the Hound of Kulan berserker unit charging in there, as well as his cavalry. As I say, these Hounds of Kulan are effective against armour there with their maces, which no other berserker unit in the game has got. No other berserker unit is effective against armour. So it'd be interesting to see what happens there. Meanwhile here you can see, look at the missiles coming in on the forward units. My forward units there. You can see absolutely loads and loads of those effective against armour missiles. Really, it's literally raining missiles down onto the forward units of my battle formation. I can see straight away my spear units that I had as pilot shield units have all been completely routed now, and my combat intensives are now taking the missiles. But meanwhile over here on our right flank, as I say, there's a lot going on at the moment. At the same time, you can see here that I've charged my cavalry, and you can see Aurelius charging his cavalry in here, and it looks to me like we've routed a great deal of Mad King's army here on our right flank. If you notice here, most of Mad King's troops here have actually been routed here, which we've done with our cavalry and that Hound of Kulan berserker unit there as well. But as I say, Mad King was very aggressive here on our right flank, but maybe he was a little bit isolated there, because you can see that I think we've routed basically all of his army now. Okay, you can see, right, let's pause the game for a second. I think some of Mad King's allies are coming over here now. You can see both Man 2 has brought his Roman infantry cavalry over. As I say, we've routed, as I say, most of Mad King's army there, but you can see Man 2's brought his Roman cavalry over, and you can see that Julius Caesar has brought some of his cataphracts over here as well. So it might be a good time for us to pull out, or are we going to try and take on those cavalry units there? I guess we'll just have to see what we feel like there. But as I say, those cataphracts, don't really want to get involved with them too much if we can help it. Right, you can see the devastation to my units there. The missiles coming in on them here. Okay, so basically all those spear units that I had as pilot shield units, as I say, they were taken out quite quickly just by the sheer number of casualties they were suffering. And those two units that are at the front of my battle formation now, those are 122 man units, and you can see how they've been decimated. Okay, so you've got also those Sassanid archers have been shooting into me as well as probably targeting my allies. But as I say, those two forward, these are 122 man units reduced to 63. Those two units there really reduced. There's another 122 man unit been reduced to 23 men. So you can see my troops have really suffered a lot from those missiles thrown in by Man 2. Okay, but that's what we decided to do. My Roman troops are more armoured, got armour, my allies haven't, so that's why my Romans are going to take the missiles from Man 2 there. But you can see that a lot of my units have been absolutely decimated by that. Okay, you can see that I think the enemy archers, some of the enemy archers have been targeting Aurelius's barbarian troops. Remember, barbarian troops suffer a great deal from any kind of missile fire there. So, as I say, over here on the right flank, there's lots going on over at the main battle with the infantry here, and over here on our right flank as well. You can see Aurelius pulling his cavalry back here, and here you can see my cavalry being attacked by those Sassanid cataphracts there. Plus you've got Man 2's cavalry charging there, and bang, as he smashes in there. I think this might be a bit too much for my cavalry here. I was hoping my allies were going to charge in with their cavalry, but I think they're a while away, or they got very battle damaged cavalry now. But as you can see there, all my cavalry now, my Equitai Clibanares, have now been taken out or routed here. And if the enemy chase my cavalry down, I've got no chance of rallying, and so my cavalry basically have been taken out from the battle here. Okay, so that's bad news for us. As I say, plus my infantry has been absolutely decimated by the missile fire coming in from Man 2's army. There, as I say, these 222 man units that have been reduced down to 37 men there, and the missiles are still coming in even now, look. So as I say, remember Man 2 had 11,628 missiles he could throw in there, and as you can see, the forward units of my battle formation have been absolutely decimated by the missiles coming in there. So that is, you can see, quite bad for us, really, losing that many troops. And now if he attacks with all his fresh, see, his infantry haven't even got into hand-to-hand fighting yet, and when they attack my battle damaged troops, they could well maybe cause a mass rout. But hopefully my allies haven't suffered that much. They may have suffered some casualties from enemy archers, but hopefully they won't have suffered that much. Right, you can see the enemy have chased my cavalry down, so there's no chance of my cavalry now rallying there. They've all been killed. So I've lost my Equitai Clibanarii cavalry, and you've got all this enemy cavalry in behind us now. You see, you've got the Cataphracts and Man 2's cavalry in behind us now, ready to smash into the rear of our engaged units there. So as you can see, things not looking very good for us there, with all that enemy cavalry in behind us. As I say, if the enemy attack us at the front with infantry and those cavalry smash into the rear of us, then that could really be a lot of trouble for us there. But yours, 122 man unit reduced down to 21, so I've lost 100 men from there and down to 23 men there. So as I say, those two units were 122 men units, and they've just been decimated by sheer missile power there from Man 2's army. As I say, Man 2's got some massive firepower there, and he's used it well to, as I say, decimate my my Roman troops. Okay, you can see Barclayman here. It looks like he's moving his Callow Glass elite Celtish infantry here round the flank, maybe to smash into Man 2's Roman troops. Maybe that's what he's thinking there. Of course, he's got his Hounds of Kulan there as well, those two Berserker units. So we just have to see what he's doing here. As I say, you can see him move around. I've got a feeling, though, that Man 2 may well still have some missiles left. Plus, you've got all those Sassanid archers there that can shoot into them. Okay, here we go. Looks like Barclayman's going to charge in with those Callow Glasses. Get ready for this, and bang, as they smash in there to those Roman troops. But as I say, I think those Callow Glasses have suffered a lot of casualties from archer fire and maybe some missile fire as well. And as I say, you can see them charging in there, trying to do the best they can. But as I say, Celt infantry, not that good. You don't see the Celts brought very often on Barbarian Invasion because they are looked upon as possibly a weaker faction there. But you can see there that all his Callow Glasses have been routed there, but he's now bringing in his Hounds of Kulan. Can you see he's bringing in those Hounds of Kulan now? And there they go. He's hopefully going to activate them. There you are, they've been activated. You can see the red banner flashing above them there. So he's activated his Hounds of Kulan, but he's lost his general there. And now you can see that Man 2 is charging his Roman army forward as well. Let's just pause again for a second here. Okay, so you've got all those Sugdian warriors there attacking Barclayman's Berserkers, plus you got those Sassanid archers shooting as well. You can see some of Aurelius is attacked as well here, but his units are starting to rout. And as I say, you can see that Man 2 is charging his red Roman army into the forward units of my damaged battle formation there. Okay, so you can see here there's a lot going on. And over on our right flank, don't forget you got those Mad Kings rallied some of his infantry, plus you got that Julius Caesar's Cataphracts, those powerful Cataphracts there, ready to smash into the flank of our engaged troops there. Okay, you can see here that Julius Caesar here is chasing down some of Aurelius's cavalry units there that's got in behind the enemy. But as I say, here I think this is the make and break of the battle. Here you can see Man 2 has got his cavalry in behind us here, ready to smash into the rear of our troops. And of course, all of Barclayman's Callow Glass infantry has now been routed. And my guess is their morale's not very good. They're not going to rally. They're just going to leave the battlefield, I think, now. So, as you can see, things not looking very good for us here. You can see the enemy troops really pushing in here. But here you can see that Aurelius has activated two of his two Berserkers now. So the fear factor there that he's going to bring in, plus their look how they actually attack those enemy Roman troops, smashing them up into the air with the power of those double-handed swords that they use. Very powerful these berserkers are. Here you can see, just look, throwing those enemy Roman troops up into the air with one sweep of those massive double-handed swords there. Look at that. Look at the power of those double-handed swords. I mean, that's some real power there. So what I'm going to do now, okay, let's pause again. So I'm going to charge, because the berserkers there have put the fear factor in the enemy troops. I'm now going to rush forward with my battle-damaged infantry here. I'm going to try and make the most of the effect that those berserkers are having on the enemy troops. Okay, so as you can see there now, I'm going to run my infantry forward. There you go. So I'm running forward now. I'm attacking the enemy in front of me there, as I know that their morale will be dropped a heck of a lot by those berserkers. Going to chase down. You can see a lot of Mantu's units starting to rout here. Okay, you can see here that Mantu's thrown his cavalry in there to attack those berserkers, but look at those berserkers cutting down his cavalry there. Look at that with their double-handed swords. It wouldn't surprise me if Mantu's cavalry, and I think to me looked to me like all of Mantu's cavalry was just killed there. They didn't even rout. Okay, so here you've got both of Aurelius's berserkers and Barclayman berserkers here. Okay, so they've actually teamed up. You've got 4 or 5 berserker units there all ready to hit the enemy. Now, as you can see here, Mantu's army here has been routed. But what we must do here, and a lot of you know this, a lot of veterans watching this will know, we need to chase these routers down. We need to chase them off the battlefield. If we don't chase them down, there's a good chance that a big chunk of them are going to rally and come back and maybe turn the battle in the enemy favour here. So we need to chase down those routers. As I say, if we don't, we could pay the price later on in the battle. Okay. Meanwhile, here you can see that the Sassanid general there with his cavalry, and a lot of his units were routed there on that other flank, that left flank there. And you can see him charging in there. You can see coming in from 2 directions there, his cavalry attacking one of Aurelius's units. You can see I've brought some of my infantry back here to try and counter that cavalry. Okay, so as I say here, I've got a lot of my infantry here come back, try and counter this cavalry. But you notice over here we've stopped chasing down the routers. Can you see? We've just stood still at the moment. And can you see that the enemy Roman army is starting to rally here? Okay, can you see it's starting to rally? And if you notice, can you see he's got his religious unit at the back there? There's a religious unit there rallying, helping to rally the troops as well, raising the morale of those troops. Now, all these troops of Mantu, as I say, could rally. There's that religious unit. Look, he's got them praying there, and they've now rallied all those Roman troops that we routed. If we'd have kept chasing them, we'd have chased them off the battlefield. Now they've all rallied, and they can come back into the battle now. And as I say, this could change the battle. How many times, veterans watching this, how many times have we seen rallied troops come back into a battle and turn the battle? And that's what could well happen here. As I say, back here, both Aurelius and myself here are attacking these Sassanid cavalry there, and as you can see, we've routed them. I think we've taken out the Sassanid general there as well, so that's good news for us. As you can see there, we've routed those Sassanid cavalry that was going to cause us so much trouble here. Okay, so that's good news for us. Looks like we killed them all as well, mostly killed all of them as well. But as I say, look at Mantu's Red Roman army has come back into the fray here and have rallied. All those troops have rallied there. As I say, if we'd have carried on chasing them off the battlefield there, they would have had no chance of rallying, and we would have we would have gone on to win the battle. But now these troops have come back into the fray here. As I say, that could swing the balance here, because all our troops, remember, are extremely battle damaged and very tired as well. So as I say, it looked like we'd won the battle there with routing all the enemy troops, but now we've allowed Mantu's Roman army to rally here. This could cause problems. Okay, so you can see I'm charging my Roman troops into Mantu's troops. You can see Aurelius charging his troops in as well. As you can see there, you see Aurelius is effective against armour axemen coming up there as well. But bearing in mind, I think all the units on both teams here are battle depleted, battle damaged. Morale's going to be low. I think we're all tired. I just saw 3 of my units, my Roman units, have just been routed there. Okay, so that's bad news for us. You can see here, remember, my army is the green Romans, and you can see Aurelius's barbarian troops there up against the Mantu's red Roman troops there. Okay, if you notice there, I've got one very battle damaged Equitai Clibonara unit there, using their effective against armor maces against Mantu's troops. But as you can see, I think Mantu's troops outnumber us here, and it doesn't look very good. Right, let's just pause the game for a second here. So you can see here that there's my general, and my general in quite an exposed position here. Can you see he's basically surrounded by enemy troops there? So that could be a bad place to put him, but as I haven't got a lot of units left there, I've got to throw that general unit in there to help fight the enemy troops. But he is surrounded by enemy troops there, and he could be killed at any time there. Can you see he's killing a lot of them? But there he's been struck down. Whether he's going to get back up again, there he's got back up. But as I say, there's a lot of enemy troops around him there, and it wouldn't surprise me if they actually finished him off. So as I say, you can see some Sugdian warriors being brought into the fray as well. And look at the enemy archers in behind us. Okay, so as I say, you can see here this is going to go right down to the wireless battle. Now look at all the enemy archers in behind it. Now a lot of these archers have fired all their arrows, and you can tell that because they've drawn their knives, can you see, or small swords, whichever it is there. And you can see them being brought into the fray to charge into the rear of us there. Okay, so as I say, there's a lot of enemy archers there in close formation for more impact. You already got Sugdian warriors here that have been brought back into the fray, and with their effective against armor maces. And look at all those enemy troops ready to charge into the rear of our engaged troops here. So as I say, things not looking very good here for our team, I don't think, really. As I say, there you can see it's a real scrap here. I've still got some of my green Roman troops there still fighting, but they're very battle depleted and damaged here. And Aurelius has got his effective against armor axemen plus his knight raiders, which are also effective against armor. And you can see fire arrows coming into the rear of us, where some of those Sassanid archers have still got arrows left. There comes that cavalry unit. It's going to charge into the rear of our units there, and bang, as that charges in there. I thought that might have caused a mass rout there. You got Sugdian warriors coming in from our flank here. Right, let's just pause the game for a second. So you can see we got Roman troops fighting us from the flank. We got enemy troops coming in from behind us there, and we've got more enemy troops coming in from the other flank. And you can see one of Aurelius's units is starting to rout already. His general's still there. He hasn't got a lot of units left, and you can see my Roman troops there as well. But we're being assailed, if you like, from all sides there. And of course, Mantu's got his religious unit there, which will be giving his troops extra morale, keeping them fighting longer. As I say, you can see all these enemy troops coming in behind us there. Another one of Aurelius's units just been routed there, and that. And you can see these enemy troops charging in. Not looking very good for us at the moment. Another a group of Sugdian warriors there just moved in, with those effective against armor maces, attacking some of Aurelius's troops there in the rear. So as I say here, you can see that's my general just been taken out. So we've just lost my general morale bonus there. And look, some more of Aurelius's units are starting to rout. Some of my units are routing now as well. But luckily here, look, one of the Berserker units has been brought in. I think this is Aurelius's Berserker unit's just been brought in. Look at the damage that that's going to do to the archers. It wouldn't surprise me if Aurelius got some really good kills in this battle, because his Berserkers have been taking out loads of archers here and other troops. And remember the fear factor they bring as well. Look at that. Look at those massive double-handed swords doing the damage that they were there. We've taken out the, I think Mantu's general's been taken out as well. So we have now routed a heck of a lot of enemy troops here. You can see me charging my troops into the rear of those Sassanid archers there. I think there's some Sugdian warriors there that those Berserkers have just routed as well. So that, make no mistake, that arrival of Aurelius Berserker unit there, I think, saved the day. Okay, if that unit hadn't turned up, looking at the numbers there, I think we were about to lose. As I say, I've got 2 units left out of my entire army, and I'm pleased that they're still left, bearing in mind the damage that I suffered from all those missiles. And as I say, you can see Aurelius, he hasn't got a lot of units left here, but I think he's got some units chasing down the enemy there, just to make sure that they don't rally like they did earlier. Okay, now at the rear here of the battle, you can see that there's Mad King's general there. Remember, his general was killed, but he's still got the general unit there, that Equitai Immortal unit there. And you can see here a very exhausted and extremely battle damaged berserker unit there, heading towards those two Sassanid units. But as I say here, I think, what would you say, for all intents and purposes here, do you think that our team has gone on to win the battle? Do you think that's, because you can see now we're chasing down a lot of the enemy troops there. As I say, I've got 2 units left, but it looks like we've, look at all the dead archers there. As I say, I think Aurelius killed most of those there, so as I say, it wouldn't surprise me if he got some really good kills in this battle. Oh, I've got another unit's just rallied there, so I've actually got 3 units left now, but they are very battle damaged. As I say, you can see Aurelius here doing the right thing, chasing down the enemy routers, making sure that they don't rally and come back to kind of bite us in the butt, if you like, towards the end of the battle. So, as I say, it looks like our team may well have gone on to win the battle. There's that Hounds of Kulan, bang! All killed with 1 impact from that Sassanid Cataphract unit there. So as I say, Mad King's got those 2 immortal units left there, and I think that's all he's got left. You can see Barclay Man here running another looks like a Hounds of Kulan berserker unit over, maybe to take them out. As I say, these could, I think, be the last 2 enemy units left here, so if we can take these out, we would have gone on to win the battle there. And as I say, you can see Barclay Man bringing that Hounds of Kulan over there. Let's hit a bit of triple speed here and get them over there a bit quicker. Now, will these Hounds of Kulan take out these guys or not? Bang! Can you see that they actually came out of berserk mode as they got closer to the enemy troops there? So they, of course, in berserker mode, they fight a lot better than they do out of berserker mode there. But as I say, I've got my 3 Roman troops here now. What I'm thinking here is, if I get my Roman troops up there and we can take out these last 2 units, then of course that will be the end of the battle. Do you think that if you were Mad King, you would admit defeat now? Is that something you would do? And maybe we can get back in the lobby to start a new game. Is that something that you would do here? As you can see here, I'm chasing the larger of the Cataphract units there, and you can see that this one's going to come in behind. It wouldn't surprise me if the general unit turned to face me, so I'm hit from both sides there. And there you go, you can see now. Okay, but just look at the size of those effective against armor maces that those immortals use. Okay, remember those mortals, they're horse archers, but their secondary weapon is this massive effective against armor mace that they carry. Look at the damage that they can do with that. Okay, now bearing in mind I've got 3 very battle damaged Roman units here fighting them here. There you can see, did you see that immortal unit just glow? They've just got a battlefield promotion there. Okay, you can see my infantry fighting it, but I don't see my infantry killing many of those cavalry, do you? That's that smaller Cataphract unit has just been routed there, but the general unit, let's just pause the game for a second. So I've got 23 men in my general unit, only 8 men in that unit, and 25 men in that unit. So I outnumber this unit with my Roman troops, okay? So I should be, do you think I should be killing a lot more of those immortals? Bearing in mind that they've got like something like a 35 defense plus 2 hit points on top of that. And look how they use those, as I say, those massive effective against armor maces there, against my infantry. Okay, so I was expecting to see a few of those cavalry go down here, but as you can see, the massive defense they got, plus those 2 hit points, and as you can see with all my infantry there, can't seem to kill any of them. Can you see? Fighting here, striking them several times, but just not being able to kill them. One of my units has been routed now, look. And I've got 2 units still fighting, but one of my units has been routed there. Still can't seem to kill any of those immortals. As I say, that massive 35 defense plus those 2 hit points there make this unit really, really immortal, as it says it is. And it wouldn't surprise me if my unit started to rout now. And there you go. So that one unit has just routed those 3 Roman units of mine. Just goes to show how tough that immortal unit is. Okay, and if we look at the dead on the battlefield, can you see, if you look closely, you'll see that most of the dead are my troops. I think we might have killed 1 cavalry, one of those immortal cavalry units there. And the rest of the dead are my Roman infantry. So it just goes to show how these immortals are so well armoured, plus those two hit points. And can you see, we looked at the beginning of the game at this unit, and he had 6 upgrades. Can you see he's gone up to 8 upgrades now? He's had 2 battlefield promotions. Okay, can you see he's got 8 upgrades? So remember, at the beginning of the game we looked and he only had 6, so 2 battlefield promotions that this unit's got already. So, and he's taken out the rest of my units. So all my army now, all my Roman army has now been completely wiped out. Okay, and it looks to me like the enemy well could have won this battle now, because you can see all my Roman troops dead there and just 1 immortal cavalry unit dead. So let's say this is one of the closest battles I've ever been in. Okay, at this stage of the battle, you can see that Aurelius has brought his battle-depleted army into the woods. Okay, you can see this is all he's got left now. So he's got 4 units left. That's all he's got. Whether, yeah, that's it. Whether he's got any other units hiding in the woods, as far as I can see, he's only got 4 units left. Okay, now he's taking these units into the woods for a reason. Remember that barbarian troops get a winter bonus, what he's got. But also, if he runs into the woods, he's going to get the woods bonus. Okay, and what my guess is he's going to sit in those woods, let his troops rest, and hopefully what he's hoping for is that Mad King will charge that immortal unit into the woods. Okay, as I say, this guy's got 8 upgrades on now, 2 battlefield promotions during the course of the battle, but if it charges into the woods, it will be up against, as I say, Aurelius's troops with the woods bonus and the winter bonus. So it'll be interesting to see if Mad King is going to charge that unit into the woods here, and as I say, Aurelius will definitely have the advantage in the woods if that actually happens. So it should be interesting to see. Okay, at this stage of the battle you can see that Aurelius has brought 2 of his berserker units over that must have been running around the battlefield. You can see they're exhausted, and can you see that they've actually dropped out of berserker mode? Notice the banners are not flashing anymore, so they've actually dropped out of berserker mode now, and Mad King spotted that. He's going to charge in with his cavalry, and bang, as he smashes in there. Okay, remember there, can you see that that immortal unit just glowed again? So it's got another battlefield promotion there. Okay, so that immortal unit there has just got another battlefield promotion. And as I say there, I think that he's going to kill these berserkers off. As I say, when the berserkers are not activated, they're just like ordinary units, and their fighting capability is greatly reduced from when they are in berserk mode. As I say here, you can see those immortal units. I think they've just routed that unit there. Okay. There they are, they've just been broken. But what I would like to draw your attention to now, remember when we looked at Mad King's general at the beginning of the game? Okay, he just had 6 upgrades on: gold shield, gold attack. If you count them now, you'll count 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. He is now fully upgraded. Okay, so during the course of the battle, he's had 3 battlefield promotions. Remember, a unit gets promoted in battle if it does very well. Okay, it gets that an automatic battlefield promotion. So it's unusual for a unit to get 1 battlefield promotion, even more unusual to get 2 battlefield promotions, but for a unit to actually get 3 battlefield promotions, that is really, really unusual. So that unit now it's fully upgraded. Just let me give you an idea of its specifications now. That gives it a massive 36 defense, a massive 16 attack, plus 2 hit points on top of that. Okay, so that unit's got 3 battlefield promotions, got massive specifications now, and my guess is that our ally here, Aurelius, is now got to face a fully upgraded immortal units. Okay, he's going to be in the woods with the woods bonus, but this is quite scary. Be interested to see what happens. Okay, so here comes that fully upgraded immortal unit here, charging into the wood towards Aurelius's last remaining battle damaged units. Now remember that Aurelius has got the winter bonus and the woods bonus, but it's up against a fully upgraded immortal unit with 2 hit points, and bang, as that cavalry smashes in there. You see those effective against armor axemen here and get smashed. They're not going to get back up, they're dead. Okay, so you can see 2 of Aurelius's units are already starting to rout there. Can you see that? And it looks like Mad King could well win the battle for his team here with this fully upgraded immortal unit. As you can see here, as I say, for all intents and purposes, it looked like our team had won the game. But now with this fully upgraded immortal unit here fighting the last unit of Aurelius's here, Remember that Knight Raider unit of Aurelius is effective against armour. Those axes are effective against armour, and they've managed to rout Mad King's last unit there. Oh my gosh. So as I say, this is one of the closest battles I've ever been in to have one battle damaged unit left on the whole battlefield. Everything else is dead or routed. Very, very close. But look at the how spread out this battle is. Remember this first battle over here on the right where Mad King's army got a little bit isolated, and we managed to take out most of his units there, but we lost a lot of our cavalry on that flank. And over here is looks like another cavalry fight there as well. And yet another cavalry fight there, so you can see there was a lot of activity on our right flank. And over here in the centre here you can see the piles of dead. You can just see how intense this particular part of the battlefield was. So you can see a lot of Mantu's red cavalry dead there, a lot of cataphracts. Look at those cataphracts dead there. Then over here, look, you can see a lot of those Sassanid archers there. I think Aurelius killed loads of those Sassanid archers, so as I say, wouldn't surprise me if he got some really good kills. And over here, that's where that Mantu's army rallied. Do you remember? We didn't chase down those routers, and he nearly turned the battle around there. But well done to Aurelius here. It was a real close one there between that Immortal unit and Mad King, or this effective against armour and Knight Raider unit there. And as I say, a very close battle. Okay, first thing I'd like to say is really well played to everybody in the game there. As I say, a really close battle there, and it was a close, as I say, close victory. And I say, highest kills in the game goes to Brotherhood member Aurelius, 2,383 kills. So well done to Aurelius with his Burgundi barbarian faction there. Really good kills. And well done to Mantu as well. Got some good kills with his Roman army there. My guess is most of his kills were my troops being killed by his missiles. Over 11,000 missiles hitting me. So well done to Mad King with Sassanid. Probably didn't get the kills that he wanted to there, but his general nearly won the battle at the end there for his team. Very, very close. As I say, well done to Mantu, second highest kills in the game, and well done to Julius Caesar, third highest kills in the game. So the losing team had the second and third highest kills in the game. Really well played, guys. That was a really great effort there. Could have gone either way. As I say, I was quite pleased with the kills that I got, bearing in mind that my forward units were decimated by the missiles of Mantu's army. Well done to Barclay Man. Possibly didn't get the kills that he wanted to there, but he did well with the Celts. And well done to Aurelius, to say highest kills in the game. As I say, this is probably one of the closest battles I've ever been in, with just one battle damage unit left on the battlefield at the end. Hope you enjoyed this battle. Look forward to seeing you soon. Bye for now.